you wanted the best, you've got the best podcast, the hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. It's Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com. Ladies and gentlemen, our latest things that makes it official for 16 years and over 2,400 episodes. We've been bringing the Chris Voss Show, and we've been doing it because we love you. Not intimately, because that would be kind of weird, because there's there's millions of you, so knock it off. But you can think about me in your dreams if you want. That's kind of weird. I don't know. The ramble always goes random and weird, and that's what we just did. Anyway, guys, if you want to think of me more, please refer the show to your family, friends, and relatives. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, YouTube.com/Chris Voss, and then they can think about me too while they sleep. I'm going to give people nightmares now. Way to go, Chris. Opinions expressed by guests on the podcast are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the host or the Chris Voss Show. Some guests of the show may be advertising on the podcast, but it is not an endorsement or review of any kind. Anyway, we have an amazing young man on the show we're going to talk to about his new dating app that he's launching. And it seems like everybody's got a dating app nowadays. I don't know what that's about, but people need personality. It's kind of like when there used to be a magazine for everybody. And so you gotta have stuff that's designed for you. So we're going to get into it. We're going to be talking about BAEsed, the premier dating platform where values lead the way to love. And BAEsed provides a distinctive platform for gay men and women who hold conservative values, offering a unique opportunity to connect with peers. We're going to be talking to the founder, CEO, and creator of it, and getting into what he has to say about what he's built and what he's done. Harrison Smith, he has a bold new dating app specifically designed for gay conservatives. He's a licensed mental health counselor with years of experience in trauma recovery and addiction treatment. Harrison created BAEsed after witnessing how many gay individuals felt politically and culturally alienated by both mainstream dating apps and traditional conservative spaces. BAEsed is much more than just a place to swipe. It's a space for real connections, shared values, and unapologetic individuality. The app includes in-depth personality assessments to promote self-awareness, better dating decisions, and personal growth. It's designed for gay men and women who don't identify with the mainstream gay culture and are looking for something real without compromise. Welcome to the show, Harrison. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. We really appreciate it. Give us your .coms or wherever you want people to find you on the interwebs.
Absolutely. So if you're looking to download BAEsed, you can check it out on BAEsed.com, and that's spelled BAESED.com. We're on both the Apple the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. You can find our Instagram at GetBAEsed, or if you're looking for my personal Instagram account, you can go on Instagram at Harrisonsgram, HARRISONSGRAM.
So give us a 30,000 overview of BAEsed and what it does.
So essentially, I created BAEsed because as a gay conservative, I've experienced firsthand how both isolating and hostile the mainstream gay culture is and can be. I saw that there was really no space for people like myself, gay people that held conservative values, where we could just be ourselves and just be authentic in relationships and in dating. And so that became my mission.
And how long have you been working on this project?
For a little over a year now, actually. I had this idea back in December of 2023, and then when I make a decision, I hit the ground running the day after. I just jump right in. So that January, like right after the New Year's, I started looking up developers, and I'm just a licensed mental health therapist, so I've never been in the IT world. Literally calling people like, "How do you create an app? How does one do this?" And then here we are.
How do you get those buttons to press on the app where you do the dialing? So you've created this thing, you've launched it. People can download it right now on Google Play and iTunes. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
and you can go to their website and do that. They've got, of course, social media across the thing. Now, explain the conservative part to me. Is that a political conservative thing? I'm doing this because if someone's out there in the audience and they're like, is this maybe better for me than Grindr or something? What's that definition line there?
Absolutely. So when we say conservative, we mean, yes, politically conservative, but not even just politically conservative. We mean just conservative lifestyle or just ideology. And so if you're looking at download base, if you're not just politically conservative, but also, again, if you're someone who is part of the gay community and you just feel like you don't fit in the traditional mainstream gay culture, then this is the app for you.
Yeah. Was there aspects? What are the aspects that kind of drove you to want to do this that you feel weren't the aspects for you and people like you that you feel weren't being handled by the broadstream green, say, or these other dating apps? What were some of the things that you're running into that were problems that you needed to solve?
One of the things that I saw when I was on other dating apps, or just even friends or people that I know that are on other dating apps, complaints that I kept hearing is just how shallow, and especially in the gay element of it, typically how hypersexual it tends to be and overly performative. And if you're looking for a deeper connection, that's a huge part of the reason of why I created BAEsed, is because it's about community and creating deeper connection outside of just the hypersexual, shallow, performative world.
Wow. You just shamed my whole dating process as a heterosexual. No, I'm just teasing.
Welcome to therapy.
I said, welcome there. And you're a therapist too. That's what we like on the show, the duality. We get a dual service here. We get to psychoanalyze Chris Voss and find out he's batshit. And we get to promote people's entrepreneurism products. Is this your first foray into being an entrepreneur?
Yes and no, because I have my private practice.
Yeah.
So that was my first time actually stepping out and doing my own thing and creating my own business. And that was daunting in and of itself. But I would say that the tech world has been a lot more difficult than just starting a private practice. But it's been a great experience. I'm extremely happy that I did it.
It's and you're learning a whole new thing. I would love to start an app. I'd love to, to create a SaaS website. Man, I tell you, it's difficult. It's hard, and it costs a lot of money to build one of these things. So you're going through the gauntlet as an entrepreneur. Most entrepreneurs do go through a gauntlet of learning something new and growing it and trying to figure out the widgets to make it work right and innovations and stuff like that. So you're definitely having fun with that one. What was the question? Oh, I've seen Don Lemon complain about how when he goes to political events, he gets hit on all the time by other men, and he finds it kind of funny because I don't know the Republicans kind of you can't ever figure out where their stance is, I guess, on gay people. Maybe you can, but it seems like there's a lot of them in the party. And then evidently, when some of these big events go on for Republicans, I guess Grindr lights up in the area. So I assume from both those points of data, there's a lot of people out there that could use your app because they're conservative and maybe looking for something more.
Exactly. And when it comes to the hostility that a lot of gay conservatives, honestly, most gay conservatives get, especially when they're openly gay and conservative, most of the hostility we get comes from people that aren't conservative. And again, I wanted to create a space where people could just be their authentic self, and not just in left groups or communities, but also within the Republican Party. You see that a lot as well, where people aren't the most accepting of us, but yet we still have conservative values and a lot of traditional values. And so again, the huge element of the why I created BAEsed is to create a sense of pride in who you are, no matter where you are. And yes, especially those people that tend to be closeted in the conservative world, come to BAEsed and just be who you are.
And then you've got some aspects of BAEsed that make it unique and different. I think you've got, I'm going to try to pull up the page. There it is. You guys have in-depth personality assessments, tailored profile experience, community of respect as some of the features. To walk us through some of these applications you guys use to make yourselves unique.
Absolutely. So the personality assessments were obviously inspired by just my background in mental health. My own personal journey and just I guess my own personal growth is one of the things that led to BAEsed in the first place. And especially an app that's dedicated to community, not just in relationships, but not just in dating relationships, but relationships in general. I always tell people it's hard to figure out where you belong and where your community is and who your community is if you don't really have a true understanding of who you are as a person and who you are within yourself. And so that's why I really wanted to incorporate personality assessments in the app that people can utilize so they can get a deeper understanding of themselves and then grow as people. All of our personality assessments will give you insights into who you are as a person. We'll talk about your strengths, your weaknesses, and it even gives insights and suggestions on how you can improve upon certain aspects of your personality to kind of help you navigate yourself, not just in dating and relationships, but just in life in general.
Could you help me with my personality assessment? Because my problem is I have 3 or 4 different personalities and names, Sybil. I need some advice on how to hone it down. The judge says I can't use the personality of kill me, kill, who says that all the time. I can't use that anymore, evidently, according to the judge.
I can help you with that. I just might say kill at the end of the hour. Pretty hefty based on knowing your personality. It might be pretty hefty.
Yeah, most psychologists, when they meet me, they order a boat. I'm ordering a boat. We got this guy for the next 20 years.
Is the boat for you or for them?
For them, yeah. They're I think they call me the whale, the boat, because of how much it's gonna have to cost to fix me. The dentist does that to me as well too.
I can make off of you right now. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be here. I can retire after this.
I can retire on this one. Yeah. And if you ever don't have enough of people to be therapy retire, I can send you people that maybe I might have gone on dates with. So I kind of interrupted you there to get that joke, and I apologize. So in-depth personality traits, tailored profile experience. I'm not sure we can get you to pick up where I interrupted you.
Oh yeah, no, I was saying, oh yeah, that's there's other, when it comes to the difference, there are a couple of others, a small number of other dating apps or websites that have personality assessments. But one of the key differences between us and them is that if you go on the other ones, again, they're not geared towards conservative values. And so ours are specifically tailored to conservative values and to conservative people. And then also, again, when it comes to the insights that we give, the personal insights that we give, and the suggestions that we give for personal growth after you finish taking our personality assessments, you don't see that in other dating app websites that have personality assessments. Usually their personality assessments are just like, okay, answer these questions, and based on these questions, these are the people who you'll be better or worse off with. And it's not just about that. Again, a big element for us is personal growth. So we don't want to just help you with matching. We want to help you just grow just develop as a person.
That would be good, because that really impacts dating. If you're really underdeveloped, or let's just say shitty, I think that's a scientific term, person, it's really hard to match with people. I mean, because no one wants to partner up for the rest of your life a person who's, still acting like they did as a teenager with undeveloped personalities, lack of self-accountability, lack of self-awareness. Although some people are trauma bonded by that, so I don't want to shame anyone's marriage, but you know what I mean. And so you guys are building it as a community. You mentioned as a community of respect, so that's kind of interesting. So you're gonna make sure that people respect each other's beliefs and values, and build community.
Yeah, and that leads me into just the hostility aspect that a lot of gay conservatives get. It's people tend to hate us a lot. And so we get that a lot on social media or just in person. A lot of my experiences, especially when I was living in LA, when I was in West Hollywood, it was again a very, very liberal area. When I came out as conservative, it was like immediate backlash. I got harassed, kicked out of places. It was pretty.
Really?
Yeah.
So you coming out as gay, and then you had to come out as conservative too?
Coming out as conservative was harder than coming out as gay ever was. Coming out as gay was easy. That was a cakewalk compared to coming out as a gay conservative.
You were in West Hollywood too, so I've heard I've heard some things about West Hollywood. I go down to that Pink's there, down the street there, the Pink's hot dog place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's right down the block.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've seen some people walking down from the clubs there that clearly are from a gay club.
Yeah.
The guys or girls, I never can tell. I don't know what that
I've
means.
I've seen it all.
I'm sure you have. Yeah. I don't know. It sounds like a lot of fun. Maybe I should switch teams, and then I'll hear less complaining, bitching, and moaning, and then I'll just have fun more. I've often thought about it because, like, I've had gay friends that they cruise some of the competitor apps for you. Do you wanna throw some shade at some of the other competing apps? I won't name them. I already did name one, but I won't name them anymore. But do you have any other ones you wanna maybe throw some shade at that maybe you're better than them with some of the innovations you put in there?
I hate to place value judgments on anything. However, I'd say there are other dating apps out there. There's one that's actually somewhat similar to ours. It's like Date Right or something, but they don't have an option for gay people on their app.
Wow.
Who are excluded on their app. And the funny thing is, one of the reasons why I came up with the app is because I went on many bad dates. And I remember coming home, and this was in December 2023, when I came up with the idea. I remember sitting on my couch, and I just remember thinking, I'm like, there's got to be an app out there because there's an app for everything, right? And there's got to be an app out there for gay conservatives. I did the normal thing and Googled it, and nothing came up. The only thing that came up was that app, like the Date Right or something. And then I was like, okay, cool. So I downloaded it, tried to make an account, and I was like, oh, this is only for straight people. So I said, literally in that moment, I made this like decision. It was like this divine intervention where I was like, I'm going to do this. And so here we are.
And you've got that great background of psychology where you can help build the questionnaires and the personality tests and try and figure out how people are and maybe help them figure out who they are. We could certainly use that over in the hetero community because we got a lot of batshittery running around that hasn't figured out who it is. And it's got multiple personalities. So you'd have to have 5 tests for them in your app for each person.
Honestly, our personality assessments, anybody can take them. So even if you are straight or whatever you are today, because of this ever-growing list of things that people say they are, anyone can download the app and actually get something out of these personality assessments.
There you go. I might require it for first dates or coffee dates at this point. I'm really thinking about that hard in my head. I'm going to actually ask my dating groups that I run what they would think about requiring a date to bring or have a personality assessment done.
Certified results.
Yeah. I mean, do you as a therapist or maybe within the app, do you ever think we've had lots of people on the show and lots of dating apps on the show too. We've had people on the show that have talked about the attachment styles. Yeah, that's it. There's, I don't remember them all. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Is that part of maybe attachment styles? Do you believe in that? Is that a thing?
Yes, that's actually one of the personality assessments that we have there. We talk about your attachment styles.
People are going to like, Chris is on his app. That's what's going on.
He was part of the testing group.
Oh, yeah. So basically, P. Diddy and his Freak Fest parties aren't welcome on the app, I would imagine. Is that kind of the freaky zone of stay away? No,
it's based after dark, maybe, but no, but no, not currently.
I don't want to judge anybody for their kink. Go ahead.
No, judgment-free zone.
Yeah, we don't kink shame on the Chris Voss Show. Whatever you want to do, folks, be weird. It's life. It's short. It's long. Do what you want to do.
As long as it's consensual.
As long as it's consensual. Good point. And over 18. I'm looking at you. I'm trying to think of a celebrity who's recently got in trouble for that, under 18. I can't pull one. Sorry, folks, I can't get all the references. It's a tight show. What else have we discussed about the app that can entice people to download and get involved?
Again, if you're part of the gay community and you just feel like you're not you just don't identify with the mainstream gay culture, the place for you. And again, when it comes to just being authentically yourself, this is a place where you don't have to worry about any hostility or backlash, because that's another thing that we see on other dating apps. It's like you'll actually see that commonly in people's profile bios that says, if you're a conservative, don't even bother to match with me.
Really?
Yeah, I see that quite a bit. And so let's just bypass that and just get to the things that matter, which is just getting to know the person. And so, come to base. And again, when it comes to the hostility, I had actually, as early as 2 weeks ago, I was in Mexico City and someone on social media messaged me. It was someone that I know back home, and they messaged me. They saw that I was enjoying myself in Mexico City. and they were unhappy that a conservative was enjoying themselves in Mexico. So they very kindly insinuated that they hoped that I were to get SA'd or mugged in Mexico City. And they said it would be a shame for them to see me on the national news. Oh. So that's a little taste of
I thought heterosexual people were the nastiest group of people, being one of them. I mean, gay people, I think there's some comedians and people do some jokes about how you guys have the reputation of being some of the most happiest people in the world. I can't remember, there's a comedian that does a bit about it, but you ever notice how gay people are always so damn happy? It's because they're having sex all the time. And you ever notice how married people are so unhappy? It's because they're not having sex. Marriage jokes. That's what Chris is good for. Do you think that, I know there's a lot of, and I've had gay friends that they've coupled up, they've gotten married, sometimes they've adopted children, but they're into that marriage sort of thing. Just maybe, I don't know if you call it traditional, but forgive me if you hate me for that word. But maybe they want something long term. They don't want the hookup culture. They want to get to know a partner and live with them and then be miserable for the rest of their life, like most heterosexual married couples.
Yeah. From the base, that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, not the miserable part, I'm sure, but those are just jokes. People don't write me. Right now, all the married people are like, motherfucker, this guy again. Now I have the gay people doing it too now. Marriage and gays are miserable. Anyway, so it sounds like, it might be a better place if you're one of those people who's seeking a long-term relationship, maybe gay marriage, maybe, having that whole life. I've known people that they were married gay for their whole life. They lived with a partner for 30, 40 years. And, there's people that have that, but when that hookup culture is pretty crazy. It's crazy both in the gay culture and it's crazy in the heterosexual culture now. And for heterosexual culture, it's about 90% of the dating activity that goes on right now. Yeah, maybe 85. I'd say 85%. Yeah. And, it's hard for people because if you're someone, I'm a person who would rather not date a lot of people. I'm 57. I don't have time for that anymore, to be a playboy. But, it's what people are doing. They just run around slapping each other with their privates, and that's fun for them. But some people, they want something more. I would like a relationship with a woman that I can invest my time in and everything else instead of just investing horrible dinners hopping around there. So that would make a difference. Now, how long has it been launched? Is it available in every state? Is it going to be international? That's a good question too.
Yes, so it's currently available for download and use on, again, both Apple Store and Google Play Store. We launched about 2 weeks ago. So yes, we're currently gaining followers. We're currently gaining users. So this is the perfect time to join, especially because we have different tiers used to subscribe. And right now is the perfect time to join because the smallest tier is currently free. So you can download the app and utilize it and get a taste of really what BAEsed is about.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you get Donald Trump to endorse it, and then he can take it to the Republican convention. And
he loves the gays. He would be one of the first to want to. I'm surprised.
I think that's a quote from him. Actually, I love the gays.
He does. He's actually. I've been to literal gay events with him where he's come as the keynote speaker. Yeah, and he's crazy supportive of the gays. He actually went up to two of my friends. Yeah. Who are gay. He goes up to them and he's like, handsome guys, handsome man. You guys are both too handsome man. He loves us. He's a big supporter.
Secretly, I've heard rumors that he's a power bottom. I'm just teasing, folks.
I don't know any parts of that rumor. I don't know anything about that.
So we just do the jokes, folks. We do comedy. So I'm looking at the screenshots on thing. Tell us about how the profiles look. And I see you can have a voice message. I see some of the searching and matching you can do. Does it automatically do any matching for you, or do you have to do your own?
So it's going to be the classic model, the card model, where you're going to be swiping left or right and to find matches. And so we really want to show personality on the profile. So we have different prompts that you can add that people can respond to. You can show a plethora of photos. Eventually we'll be able to add videos to it as well. You have voice memos, voice messaging that you can put on your profile. So yes, we really want to show and emphasize personality as well as who you are as a person.
Yeah. In fact, while we're sitting here talking, I took the personality and relationship assessment, and the answer is, it says I should go into the woods and stay away from humans for the rest of my life and die alone. there's that. Okay.
Again, we're all about honesty.
I think you actually nailed it. So that's what I hear from most of my ex-girlfriends. The other thing is, so what was this, we talk about entrepreneurism, and one of the reasons we feature people on the show with products like this is the entrepreneurial journey. What are some of the things that have helped you, problem solve, innovate, attack this? You're going kind of blind, because most people, they kind of know something about something, or maybe they work at a company that does this thing and they go, hey, I can make a bigger widget, and they go do it. You're kind of really just jumping right into the technology field and data and all these weird things that work in the sky, evidently, to keep things going. So how was it? How did you gird yourself for that? How do you deal with it in your head, where you're like, problem solving and dealing with all the issues you have to overcome on a daily basis?
I'm just a tad little bit crazy.
And you're a therapist. I love it.
That makes me a really good. The best therapists you will find are the craziest ones, to be quite honest.
You need that on a coffee cup.
And I actually might make some merch with that on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
But honestly, I was like, you know what? Okay, this is going to be difficult. I knew it was going to be a journey, and I self-funded it myself with my own money. So I really believed in the app, and I really believed in what we were doing. So I just said, you know what? This is what I believe in, and I feel want to help my community in doing this. So let's just dive right in. I've always been that type to just dive right. Once I make a decision, I'm just all in. I'll plan for it as much as possible, but then I just jump and then just kind of see where I fall.
And that's what a lot of entrepreneurs, that's the beauty of an entrepreneur. You just get in. I've said this before on the show, and I really think it's important. I was talking to somebody about the other day. They need to change the term entrepreneur to problem solver, or eternal problem solver. And I remember, I've been an entrepreneur all my life since 18. I remember I was watching, there's this guy on TikTok, and he brokers corporate plane or private planes. And he lives in England. And he's built this business, I think, for 40 years or so on. He's had this company, and he's like the proponent of it. Everybody meets with him, but he meets top multi-million-dollar people. Maybe I should hook you up so you can get into that. See if you can sign some people up there. I don't know, but I remember he was doing a walkthrough of his day and how he does it. He does a really interesting thing where he works out in the middle of the day, and I'm like, I don't think I can do that and go back to work, but. He was walking along, and he says, what's funny is I'm in my 60s. I've had my business for 30, 40 years now. He goes, you would think with everything that has gone on with my company, that it would just be routine. Okay, same problems, same fix, just do this, blah, 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 blah. And there's some of that. But he says, there's new technologies, there's new this, there's new that, there's some new quandary. The client get his money from Dubai, and you got to figure out how we can get the plane over there and the money over there. There's all sorts of different, anytime you make a deal, there's a million ways to kill it. And he's, I just think of myself as a problem solver, and all day long, it's all I do in my company is solve problems. But he goes, it's funny though, I always have new problems that I've never figured out before. Oh, yeah. And I was like, that's really what an entrepreneur is. We're just eternal problem solvers, and every day we show up, and it kind of becomes a little easier when you think of it from that aspect, where you're just like, you show up for a day and you're like, hey, the app's down, it's not working. You're like, fuck. Yeah. I've helped launch a lot of apps at South by Southwest. And there's nothing worse than when you're on the ground promoting it and people are going, I can't log in and sign up. And then you ring the developer and they're like, yeah, one of the developers pushed a sandbox update, and it wasn't supposed to go live. It was supposed to go in the sandbox, and they pushed it live, and now nothing works. And you're like, we're here promoting your app. There's all sorts of craziness that comes on. But when you think about it from the aspect of just being a problem solver and being like, okay, here's the next problem, solve that problem, next problem. I've never owned a company in 30, 40 years, however long it's been. It feels like a long time. I've never owned a company where there hasn't been new problems. AI, of course, is coming out and different things. Do you utilize any AI in the app?
Eventually, that's one of the things that we want to use. We want to use AI just eventually in the matching field, and then a couple of other areas, but currently testing right now.
What about date reviews? I'm thinking in my head, I'm half doing comedy here, but I was just thinking, and I think we've talked about this before, about myself and friends, about how we need an Amazon review process for dating. Like we need to say, how on Amazon it says 50 people bought this product, or sometimes it gets verified verified buyer, or sometimes it gets a high review. There's sometimes I go buy something and there's a warning that will come from Amazon now. And it goes, this product has a high return thing. And I'm like, I'm not buying that because a lot of people return it. I think we need this for humans now. I think we need a review process. I think I need a letter from your psychologist. I think you need a good luck with that.
Basically, a college application is what.
Yeah, but then we need reviews, right? Because I'm tired of going to dinner and hearing the past 20 boyfriends she's had were narcissists. And you're like, were you hanging out at the narcissistic clinic most of your life? What was going on there? How did you nail down only 5% of the population? And yeah, so I think we need that. So think about that if you would, maybe apply it in your app.
Absolutely. No, one of the things I actually I'll even tell my clients, I'm always like, I'm a person that me personally, I just like to get straight to the point. I don't like I just don't like the fluff of it all, I guess you can call it. So I was like, when I meet people, I'm always like, how many kids do you want? Do you want to get married? Credit score good? What am I working with? I always encourage people, just ask those questions, just direct. You will save a whole lot of time. And I encourage people on my app to do the same thing.
I guess I never really thought about it, but the same issues that I have in the heterosexual community are the same issues you have over there. If you're looking to build a life with somebody, you especially when you get to your older ages, you kind of want somebody who's got their shit together and, they're not a train wreck that you're going to have to spend all your time cleaning up. Like, explains the first half of my dating life in my 30s. But no, like credit score is a big thing for people, how they handle their finances. Like, honestly, one of my biggest problems in dating right now is, number one, masculine women. I don't find them attractive, and they should probably go on your app at this point. Sometimes their life situation, you find out they have 5 or 6 kids and they've got, they're $50,000 in debt on a student loan. They're upside down on their car loans. There's a lot of people upside down on their car loans from COVID right now. It's pretty fucking crazy. Sometimes 50 to 100 grand. And then, you find out they've got just this whole mess going on. Maybe I don't worry too much about people's credit score per se, but just their amount of debt. Because as a man, I know when I move into these situations, guess who's going to pay for all that and clean it up. Mm-hmm. And does that work that way in the gay community, or do you guys all share equal, or it just depends on the couple?
Honestly, it just depends, really. I mean, typically you'll find that there's usually one more or less dominant partner in the relationship. And it just depends on how traditional the individual people are.
And probably what they're looking for long term, I mean, if you're kind of looking to date somebody and slowly get to know them, or a little bit of hookup or whatever, but if you're really saying, I want to find my person, I want to marry them or live with them, settle down. And, so you want somebody who's in a situation where they're not going to be a liability to you, where, your net worth is going to go down, whatever, because you got with somebody with bad credit and other issues. Because it's hard to build a life with those sort of people. You can't buy homes, if they're upside down in debt, you just look at them. And just to clarify earlier, when I said 6 kids, there's nothing wrong with having 6 kids. So I'm not 6 kids shaming anybody, just to make sure. It's just, for me, a guy who doesn't have 6 kids, that's a bit much. And that's just my personal preference. So just want to make that clear, because otherwise women with 6 kids are going to write me now.
You're going to get we get now.
And they're all wonderful people. So what else haven't I asked you about your app that I should ask you about, or we should know?
I think we really went through what my app is about. You're a great interviewer.
Thank you.
You did a good job. But I would say, again, our app is up and running and it's available. And so we're welcoming people that, again, if you have the same values that we're looking for, again, just either politically conservative or just personally conservative, or just, again, you just don't really identify with the mainstream gay culture, then again, this is the place for you. And then if, again, personal growth is your thing.
Don Lemon says he gets hit on all the time at Republican conventions when he covers them for news. Maybe you could take him an affiliate code and he could hand out the app when he gets hit on or something. I don't know. I'm a marketer. I think of these things.
He'd be a good sponsor, that's for sure.
Maybe. There you go. He's got to have something to do, because that CNN gig dried up on him. It was funny you mentioned, let me see if I can pull my reference here. It was funny you mentioned that the craziest therapist might be the best. That explains why Ted Kaczynski's been my therapist up until the time he passed away a couple years ago.
That could explain.
Probably explains a lot. Right now, every girlfriend or every ex I've dated right now is sitting, listening, going, yeah, that explains a lot. Yeah, that's Chris. I'm a horrible person. That's why I'm single eternally. But no, that's kind of funny when you think about it. I mean, crazy people, I mean, they know the lay of the land. So then they can help other people deal with it. You know, if you've got somebody who's sane, they're talking to crazy people, they have no identification of what they're going through.
Yeah. I think it's the best ones are the ones that are crazy or have been crazy, but they can manage it at this point. Like those are the best ones.
That's usually who I'm looking for in the heterosexual community to date, the ones that can manage it. Anyway, so as we go out, give people a final pitch, tell them how they can onboard.coms, et cetera, et cetera.
Again, if you're interested in joining BAEsed, you're more than please come. We're welcoming all. And if you want to find us, you can find us on the Apple and the Google Play Store, or you can go to our website, baesed.com, BAEsed.com to find out more information about us. And if you're looking for my personal Instagram, you can find me on @Harrisonsgram, HARRISONSGRAM on Instagram.
Thank you very much for coming on the show, Harrison. And I'm glad you're building a space where everyone can find a place for themselves because, you know, everyone's got a different flavor and different things they like. And, you know, it's important to be able to find that community. Community is everything. And as human beings, and they can develop that. And of course, you're going on the second entrepreneur journey there and building a thing. And I'm just jealous because I can never do apps and technology. I look at code and my brain goes, where are the tits? No, I'm just kidding. Where are the babes? Like God bless men and women that can look at code and they can see the vision of how that works out. I just don't have it. I'm still working on 2 + 2 = 4. So
by the time I'm done with you in therapy, you'll be able to at least do 10 + 10.
That's 20 years from now. So let's not push it. Anyway, thanks, Harrison. We certainly appreciate you coming on the show. Thanks so much for tuning in. Go check out the website there. Maybe take the personality test. I'm going to be referring masculine women over to him because I think that's probably what's appropriate now at this point. Go ahead.
I was going to say also, again, if you're looking for a more in-depth, personal growth, so I still have my private practice, so you can still on therapistofwesthollywood.com. And
give us that .com one more time.
Therapistofwesthollywood.com.
And who do you usually work with? Do you normally work with men, women, people in the gay community, straight, or just anybody who's crazy?
All of the above, yeah. No, but I specialize in PTSD, trauma, OCD, and substance use and addiction. So if those are an anxiety disorder, so if those are things that you're struggling with, then definitely reach out if you're looking for
like all the above for me right there. OCD, squirrel. All those problems I have. Actually, most of the PTSD I'm suffering is from dating. I need to do a stand-up bit on that.
That's common.
I could probably pass that out. But I'm glad you've made an app for people that are suffering from dating app syndrome, dating app burnout or something, and they need to find something that works for them. So everyone needs to find the person they love in life. That should be a guaranteed, I think. But I don't know. But that's probably why I'm still single after 57 years. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss one, the TikTok, and all those crazy places in the internet. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next time. That should have us out. Lots of fun.